Hello, everybody. My name is Graham Elwood, and you are watching The Political Vigilante. There it is, making Gotham great again. Good citizens of Gotham. So, sounds like in Biden's new stimulus plan is rent relief. Long overdue rent relief. This should have been in the very first CARES Act. You know, the one that Democrats and Republicans signed off on? Because in other countries, they got 90% of their salary or 80% of their salary. So if you got 80% of your salary, that should be enough to pay your rent, right? We got a $1,200 check. We had a bungled unemployment system, and unemployment was okay, but it wasn't great. And not all landlords are evil rich people. A lot of landlords are just small business owners. They bought a little rental property to make some income off of it. So if people can't afford to pay rent, then the landlord can't pay the mortgage. So it's bad for everybody. So I hope this happens. This was in the LA Times, and it's specific about how every state's going to get money, and they break down how it's going to come to California as well. So that's what this article focuses on. But I just want to show you that this should be happening in every state, and I believe that it is. Let's hope that this is for real and it's not just pennies or scraps or some, red tape, FUBAR. I hope this works because I don't want anyone to get evicted, man. And I think honestly, they probably put this in the new stimulus because they were like, they saw the riots over the summer. They saw what happened at the Capitol building and went, if people are getting evicted on a mass scale, this is going to get bad. This is going to get real bad. We're going to edit this out. So this is how they're going to be giving rent relief specifically to the state of California. But this is going to roll out this stimulus in Biden's proposed stimulus. Every state's going to get this, which is what we need. But this is specific. This is from the LA Times, so it's specific to California. In Los Angeles County, most evictions will be prohibited for longer, even if the national and state rules aren't extended. But everyone, no matter where they live, is required to eventually pay back what they owe, which is why we have such a broken system. I mean, saying, you can't get evicted. Okay, so you've got 3, 6, 9 months of back rent. So let's say the economy opens up. How are you going to pay that back? Whatever your rent is, especially in a state like California where it's expensive. I mean, you're talking about $2,000 for a 1-bedroom apartment in Los Angeles and San Francisco and places like that. So let's say you're just 6 months back on rent, right? Or even, that's $12,000. So let's say they open the economy up and you're working full time again. You're going to pay an extra $1,000 a month on top of your rent to pay back the 12 months back rent, the 6 months back rent, which is $12,000. I mean, come on, it just doesn't add up. So people just need a chunk of change to just wipe out their back rent, which also makes the landlords whole, which makes the banks whole. Not that I give a shit about the banks, but I don't want to stick it to small business owner landlords. I mean, the big management companies that got billions of dollars, and whatever for them, but I don't want anyone out in the street, and I don't want small business owners to go belly up. We're losing enough small business owners. Wall Street, the big ones, the big billionaires are doing fine, by the way. Record profits for billionaires, record profits for McDonald's and Amazon and Walmart and that crowd. I did a video recently about the strike that happened on MLK Day by all these fast food workers wanting $15 an hour minimum wage. The CEO of McDonald's, by the way, in 2019 made $100 million. Gee. So all these big corporations got all this trillions of dollars in stimulus. And we've been told, we can't evict you just yet. But the eviction moratorium is lifting February 1. So this needs to happen right now. The stimulus law passed by Congress in late December includes $25 billion in rent relief funds, with an estimated $2.6 billion coming to California. Households that make 80% or less of the median income in their area and include at least one person who qualifies for unemployment or has experienced a financial hardship because of the pandemic will qualify. All right. Households must also show that they are at risk of homelessness or housing instability to qualify. That shouldn't be hard to do. And if this, I hope this plan works. I don't want this to fail to say, I told you so. I don't want anyone on the street, but let's hope this isn't some Byzantine red tape nightmare. It should be simple. You just show up and go, look, this is how much back rent we are. I lost my job. I worked in this. We don't have the money. Give us some help. And the federal government should just go, okay, here it is. What do you owe? $8,000? Boom. There you go. Bam. Done. That'll save a lot. That'll fix a lot of problems. Because let me tell you something. If you got 30 million people getting evicted, I said this during George Floyd protests, and I will include the Capitol siege. It'll make those events look like a Disney parade. When you got 30 million people hungry and pissed off, because the people that showed up at the Capitol with guns and Auschwitz shirts, that's awful. Those are neo-Nazis. That's scary and wrong, and they need to go to jail. But some of that, you can't discount that some of it was socioeconomic. I don't think the election was fixed. I've debated that with other people on the show, but you can't deny the fact that Americans, be they Trump supporters or Biden or whomever, are on hard times. And that fueled some of that. That absolutely fueled some of that. I'm not discounting or diminishing the racism and the anti-Semitism that's a big part of that. But the economic thing is part of it. And I've said this from day one. If you were giving people money to pay their rent, and we had free healthcare in this country, and student debt forgiveness, and college was free, and all this, people wouldn't have argued about having to stay home and go wear a mask when they go outside. They would have said, fine, because there aren't riots in all these other countries where their citizens already have free healthcare, already have free college, so they don't have student debt bearing down on them. And we're given, 80 to 90% of their salary. So they're okay, fine, I'll stay home, I'll wear a mask, whatever you want me to do. I'm sure people liked it in some regard, not enjoyed the pandemic, but there's part of them like, wow, you're paying me to stay home. I'll do whatever you want me to do. But in this country, we weren't paying people. We're giving them unemployment, which was barely enough for some people. Businesses had to go through this whole ridiculous process for PPP. A lot of businesses got denied for either the PPP or the SBA loans, and they ended up losing their business. They spent a bunch of money to have, outdoor dining, and then that gets shut down when the COVID numbers. So it fueled the sort of fight to reopen. It fueled it. People were desperate. So this will help alleviate a lot of the country's division and anger right now. Not all of it. Not all of it. There's a lot that's been there for decades, if not centuries. Racism and neo-Nazis, and that's been here a long time. But some of it is fueled by socioeconomic, created by the pandemic. So this is important that people get this relief. Because no one should lose their home because the government told them they couldn't work. That's bullshit. I'm sorry. I don't care who you voted for. I don't care. That's not right. If that happened to you, that ain't right. That shouldn't happen to you. I've been told I had to cancel all my tour dates. I've done some Zoom comedy shows and they've been okay, but I can't make a real living doing Zoom. If I didn't have this YouTube show, and thankful to you viewers, if I didn't have it, I don't know what I'd be doing. Up to my eyeballs in debt, up to my debt and eyeballs. We could have that too. So I hope there isn't a bunch of red tape that's going to make some people just like, caught in some sort of bureaucratic nightmare and they can't get this money and then they still get evicted. I hope that doesn't happen. There is nothing in the stimulus law that prevents undocumented individuals from being eligible for rent relief. which is good, said Diane Yentl, president of the National Low Income Housing Coalition, because that, that was some of the stuff the Republicans are trying. Oh, we're not giving undocumented people money. Well, they're still paying rent and taxes. So if they can't pay their rent, there's still more evictions and foreclosures, which isn't good. And I'm sorry, the federal government has to do this to keep because I'm telling you, 30 million evictions, that's going to be in the neighborhood of 40 to 60 million people out on the street, if not more. You've got 20-something% unemployment, and the real economic collapse, unfortunately, and I hope I'm wrong, but I'm just listening to all these economists that know way more than I do saying, oh, a huge depression is coming. So you better thwart this. You can use the money for unpaid and future rent and utility payments, as well as other housing-related expenses caused by the pandemic. Well, that's good. Because if you pay, okay, you're 6 months behind your rent, you pay that, but then you're still not working because of the pandemic. Because look, in California, it's as bad as it's ever been. It's the worst, and it's one of the worst places. Los Angeles is one of the worst places in the world. So you can't go outside. Everything's shut down. The restaurants, businesses are closing. Santa Monica, that had all these, even some of the restaurants that were, they're doing takeout, but it's shut down, man. And business after business is closing. A surf shop by me that had been there for 37 years went out of business. I can name a bunch of comedy clubs that Ron Proclone and I were supposed to perform at in the Progressive Comedy Tour. We had to scrap all of our tour dates for 2020. And a couple of those comedy clubs and rock clubs, they're out, they're done. They shut their doors. They're gone. And those are all small businesses. So I can guarantee you those places were paying rent. Businesses, we have a huge commercial real estate bubble that's going to burst. So this better help go for that too. The law doesn't place a dollar cap on the amount of help you can receive. That's good. Because I'm really tired of hearing people like Steve Mnuchin and other rich jackwagons go, oh, these people are abusing their unemployment. Unemployment makes them not want to work. Not want to work. We can't. It's dangerous to work. You guys get plenty of money. You guys get free health care in Congress. How come we can't get free health care? How come we can't get free health care? Yeah, rent relief. Now Medicare for all. Don't take table scraps. Go, thank you for the rent relief. You should have given me this 9 months ago. Now I want free health care. Well, we've already given. Don't take their table scraps. And when they say, boy, you're so demanding or you won't concede. No, I'm conceding. I just want Medicare and rent relief. Yeah. And student debt forgiveness. That's what I want. And if I don't get it, it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. So as awful as what happened at the Capitol was, these politicians got a taste of like masses of Americans really pissed off. I don't support what happened that day or anything like that. I'm not glad it happened, but you had a lot of people really mad. It was about election stuff that's nonsense. But you got tens of millions of people kicked out of their house. That's a legitimate reason to get mad. And those people would have a legitimate reason to go to the Capitol and say, hey, what's up? So it's good. You better figure this out. The law doesn't place a dollar cap on the amount of help you can receive, but there are associated time limits. The maximum a household can get is 15 months of relief, but that depends on your demonstrated level of need. Well, okay. Because this is going to go, look, we're 10 months into this. It's January. The shutdown happened 10 months ago. Mark, we're 2 months away from hitting the 12-month mark. We're 2 months away from the 1 year anniversary of the shutdown in America from COVID. So you're talking about people that that probably haven't paid rent since April 1. April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January. That's 10 months. Some people are back on rent. 10 months. Now, maybe they got unemployment and they knocked a couple of those months down, but come on, man. That's killing the landlords. That's killing everybody. So, we're 10 months away. February is 11. March is 12. April is 13. May is 14. June is 15. So if this vaccine isn't like really working in full steam ahead, hopefully by June, the vaccine is up and running and we're opening things up and everybody's doing okay. Okay. But so we're 6 months away, 5-6 months away from the 15-month mark. So because the first CARES Act had a lot of ice cream in it. She's not behind on her rent. Mitch McConnell's not behind on his rent. Lindsey Graham's not behind on his rent. AOC's not behind on his rent. The squad's not behind. Bernie's not behind. None of them are behind on their rents. And they all got really great health care. In fact, Congress just got better health care. It got improved health care. Thanks for watching, everybody. Please hit the like button, the subscribe button. Go to patreon.com/Graham Elwood and rockfin.com/Graham Elwood, where you can support the show. Also, I have a Bitcoin wallet, a Bitcoin Cash wallet, and an Ethereum wallet in the show notes. We're taking cryptocurrency. I have a Coinbase affiliation link. We're going to be getting on some other exchanges. So that's how you support the show. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. YouTube is unsubscribing us at an alarming rate. I have a PayPal button at GrahamElwood.com. I even have a Venmo at Graham-Elwood. There's a lot of ways to support our show. We are getting crushed by YouTube. We've dipped under 73,000 subscribers because of YouTube. Thanks for supporting what we do.